So we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9. Are you all able to see the screen okay?
Yes, we can see
Yes.
the screen.
Yeah. So this is like a better, I mean, I hope it is, it is better. Deepika showed me that we could read all the full chapter, instead of turning the pages. They're all going to be together. So anyway, does anyone remember any main point from yesterday?
Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare
we
Krishna.
yesterday the thing Prahlāda Maharaj had mentioned that when Lord Brahma did the austerity, he became completely pure and he could see the original form of Lord as Vishnu, as Mahapurush, and he could see uh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead having many thousands of faces and forms. So that's one of the Virat group. See, and Lord Lord Krishna came as Hayagriv with a head of horse, and he killed two demons, Madhu and Caitava, to protect the Vedas. So the Vedas are very, very important because the Vedas provide the knowledge by which we can understand the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, also, Krishna mentions that Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, Vedescha sarve aham eva Vedya. The whole system of the Vedas is to lead one gradually to the path of the Supreme Lord. So, yeah, till then. And then also, the Lord appears in order to protect the devotees. This is one very important point. Why the Lord appears is to protect the devotees and kill the demons. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll go on with today's reading, text 38. Itham nitirya krishideva jahasavatare
Tam Nitya Drishidev Jasavatare
lokan vibhavasya si jagat pratipan
Loka
Lokan
Vibhavayasi
vibhavayasi
Hansi Jagatpatipa
jagatpatipan
dharmam mahapurusha yuganuvritam
Dharmam
dharmam
Mahapurusha
mahapurusha
Pasivana
apasi
Vrittam
yuganuvrittam
channa kaloyad abhavas triyugo tasatvam
Chana Kaloyad Abhavas Triyugat Satvam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Tri Yuga, or the Lord who appears in three yugas. So here Prahlāda Maharaj is also telling us that Lord Krishna, when he's coming to in Kali Yuga, he's coming as covered incarnation, right? He does not call himself God. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya. He didn't say, I'm God. He said, I'm devotee of the Lord. As the Lord appeared just to maintain Lord Brahma from the attack of Madhu and Kaitav, he also appeared to protect the great devotee Prahlāda Maharaj. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to protect the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. There are 4 yugas of millenniums: Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. In all the yugas but Kali Yuga, the Lord appears in various incarnations and asserts himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But although Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who appears in Kali Yuga, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never asserted himself as such. On the contrary, whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was addressed as being as good as Krishna, he blocked his ears with his hands, denying his identity with Krishna because he was playing the part of a devotee. Lord Chaitanya knew that in Kali Yuga there would be many bogus incarnations pretending to be God, and therefore he avoided asserting himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, in many Vedic literatures, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 32, Krishna Varnam Visha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagye Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. In Kali Yuga, intelligent men worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is always accompanied by his associates such as Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, and Srivas. So here, why did Lord Chaitanya come as a devotee? Why he didn't declare, I am God? What was one of the reasons? Prabhupada is putting here in the purport.
Because there were a lot of bogus gurus who were calling themselves, and
Yeah,
he came as a devotee to give love to all and to teach the process how to reach God. The process was to serve and love Him.
yeah. So because
Thank you.
Krishna knows that in Kali Yuga, each of us want to become God, you know. So openly we will declare, oh, even I want to be God, I'm incarnation of God. So already there are so many. So to not encourage this, that's why Lord Chaitanya came as a devotee. He's God himself, but he's coming as a devotee. And Bhagavatam is saying, though, that those who are intelligent will worship God, who will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes with his associates. The entire Krishna consciousness movement is based on the principles of the Sankirtana movement, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Sankirtana movement, the inaugurator is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the one who started this movement, the Krishna consciousness movement, the Sankirtan movement. Therefore, one who tries to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the Sankirtana movement knows everything perfectly. He is Sumedhas, a person with substantial intelligence. Bhagavatam is saying that one who is engaging in Sankirtan and thereby worshipping Lord Chaitanya is intelligent. And that is the only way to understand God in this age of Kali. Did anyone want to add anything? Okay, go on then. Netan manastava katha suvikuntanatha
तव कथासु विकुण्ठनाथ
sampriyate duritadushtamasadhu tivram
सम्प्रीयते दुरितदुष्टम् असाधुतीव्रम्
kam aturam harshashokabhayeshanartam
Kam aturam shok
tasmin katham tava gatim vimrashami dina.
कथं तव गतिं विमृशामि
My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and lusty, being sometimes so called happy and sometimes so called distressed. My mind is full of lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. Thus, it has become most polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you. I am therefore most fallen and poor in such a status of life. How shall I be able to discuss your activities? So here, Prahlad Maharaj is a boy of 5 years old. So is he really like this? What he's saying?
Not at all.
Not at all, right?
Yeah.
So, but he's being so humble and he's taking our position, that he's teaching us how to pray also. So he's showing his humility and also setting an example of how we should pray. So here Prahlad Maharaj represents himself as a common man, although he actually has nothing to do with this material world. Prahlad is always situated in the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual world. But on behalf of the fallen souls, he asks how, when his mind is always disturbed by material things, he can discuss the transcendental position of the Lord. The mind becomes sinful because we are always engaged in sinful activities. When we do something, when we fulfill our material desire, then that gives many more seeds in our heart, many more seeds of material desire in our heart. So it becomes like a vicious cycle. The more we try to fulfill our desires, the more desires we have to fulfill the desires. So anything not connected with Krishna consciousness should be understood to be sinful. Indeed, Krishna demands in Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshami ma shucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. So Krishna is demanding surrender, and at the same time, he is also promising protection. A few weeks ago, we were saying that even the demons demand surrender, right? So the demons demand surrender, but they don't offer protection. Here, Hiranyakashipu, he's taken away the palace of Indra, and all the demigods are so afraid of him now. But Krishna, he's offering complete protection. He's saying, I shall deliver you from sinful reaction. Do not fear. As soon as one surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, Krishna immediately relieves one of the reactions of sinful activities. Therefore, one who is not surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord should be understood to be sinful, foolish, degraded among men, and bereft of all real knowledge because of atheistic propensities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:15. Namam duskritino muda prapadyante naradama maya yapraharata jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Therefore, especially in this age of Kali, the mind must be cleansed, and this is possible only by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Chetodarpana Marjana. In this age, the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only method by which to cleanse the sinful mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the process given to us. When the mind is completely cleansed of all sinful reactions, one can then understand his duty in the human form of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to educate sinful men so that they may become pious simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyatha. To cleanse the heart so that one may become sober and wise in this age of Kali, there is no value to any method other than the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prahlāda Maharaj has confirmed this process in previous verses. Tvad-virya gayana mahamrita magna chittaha. Prahlāda further confirms that if one's mind is always absorbed in thought of Krishna, that very qualification will purify one and keep one purified always. So the process of purification, what was the process of purification in Satyug?
Meditation.
Meditation, yes, that's right. Yes, meditation. And so why we are not recommended meditation as a process for perfection?
It's too tedious. The minds are not, can't concentrate.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, can't concentrate. Yeah, it's true. Our mind runs here and there, in a one moment, how many thoughts we have. Yeah. Also, for meditation, to get purification by meditation, one needs many thousands of years of
Mm.
meditation. But in Kali Yuga, we barely live even 100 years, So we don't even have the age. So we do not have the our mind is restless and our lives are also very short. So cannot do meditation. And then what was the process in Dwapar Yuga?
Yagya.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga. Yes,
Treta
Yagya.
is Yagya. Yeah.
Yeah, Treta Yuga, Yagya. So
That's,
then
yeah.
why Yagya is not recommended for us in this age?
Because
The fire
now there are
sacrifice.
many brahmanas who can do that purely, like who can chant the mantras so
Oh, yeah.
nicely, and then even the yagya was supposed to liberate that animal,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
then now we don't have who can chant so purely and they can give them the higher births. So,
Yeah.
right.
That's right. And also in Yagya was a lot of gold and silver and ghee. A lot of things were needed. We don't have that much anymore. That was also one of the reasons that, okay, so that's why Yagya is not recommended. What is the Yagya that is actually recommended in the age of Kali?
Yeah,
Harinam.
Harinam Sankirtan.
Yeah, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya. When we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra means we have done all this fire, big yagyas, fire sacrifices, and much more beyond that. Because chanting the holy name is not just a pious activity, it's a spiritual activity. And what was the process in Dwapar Yuga?
Pujan.
Murti Puja,
Mm.
deity
Yeah, that's
worship.
right. Deity worship. That's right. So deity worship. But this now in this age of Kali, we don't have enough paraphernalia to worship the deity properly.
But it's
So
still
that's why we are
recommended,
saying,
right?
yes,
Deity
yes,
Janam,
deity,
deity worship. Yes.
yeah, we still do deity worship, but always with the deity worship, the chanting of Hare Krishna has to be accompanied. So
Mm.
the main process actually for liberation in this age is uh, chanting Hare Krishna. So deity worship is also done because we need both the Bhagavad Vidhi and the Pancharitrika Vidhi. Deity worship to keep ourselves grounded, to keep ourselves clean, to have a proper timetable, and also to offer our devotion to Krishna. But also we need to chant the Hare Krishna mantra uh, together with the deity worship. But for liberation, what is recommended for us is the Harinam, chanting of the holy name. That is what is recommended for us. So Prahlāda further confirms that if one's mind is always absorbed in thought of Krishna, that very qualification will purify one and keep one purified always. To understand the Lord and his activities, one must free his mind from all contamination of the material world. And this one can achieve by simply chanting the Lord's holy name. Thus, one becomes free from all material bondage. So, why we are recommended chanting? Because when we are chanting the holy name, then our karmas are getting burnt out. And not only that, but our desire to sin, that goes away. the heart gets cleaned, the mind gets cleaned. And then once, of course, the mind is clean, then we can properly worship the deity. We can properly remember Krishna. So first, but to clean the mind, that's why we have to chant Hare Krishna, to clean the heart. Is that okay?
Yeah, and it is one of the easiest, right? Process compared
Yeah.
to all the other, yeah,
Yeah.
all the
It's
other
one of the
yogas.
easiest. Yeah, it's true. Because we don't need a long life. Don't need to gather so much paraphernalia. Don't need elaborate things. Can just sit down anywhere and chant. Just simply chant. And then comes to mind the second word of second verse of Shikshastakam, where Lord Chaitanya is saying, that my dear Lord, you have given, like, there's no hard and fast rules also for chanting your holy name. And there are so many names that you have, Krishna, Govinda. But I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction to chant your names. That's our position. Krishna has made it easy for us in this age of Kali. But because of our fallen condition, we have no attraction to chant the holy name. But whether we have attraction to chant or no attraction to chant, we still need to chant as a matter of duty. Because one may say, oh, well, I'm not attracted to chant, so I won't. But attracted or no attracted, still chant. And gradually, Krishna will give us his mercy, because he'll see, oh, this person is still chanting, he doesn't like to, but he's still doing it as a duty. So Krishna will give us his mercy then. Did anyone want to add anything more? Any comments?
Yeah, also in in Satyug, people, their lifespan, the thing of the age, the people could live was till 100,000. So they
Yeah,
could do meditation, right? Dhyan. And then in Treta Yuga, the lifespan was for 10,000, right?
yes, that's right.
And then in Dwapar Yuga, it was 1,000, and Kali Yuga is so short, like 100 years, but that 100 years also it doesn't reach.
That's
So that's
right,
why
right?
so
How
this is
many
the
actually live
best,
actually 100?
yeah, 100, yeah.
So we need
So that's
something
it.
which is like, very,
Good,
very
yeah,
strong vaccine,
fine, yeah, yeah.
when
So
the
then this,
infection is
yes,
very high. I'm sorry.
right. So that's why this Hare Krishna mantra, chanting of the, yeah, Harinam, it's so much easier.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Jivai katocho tavikarshati ma vitripta.
Jiva
Katochirivikarshati
विकर्षति
tam
Tripta
Shishnon tastvaktodaram shravanam kutaschit.
Shishmo
Tastvataram
उदरं
Shravanam
Rahanyotascha paladrik vachakarma shakti. Bhavya sapatnya ivage hapatim lunanti.
Barihas
My dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, the genitals to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch to contact with soft things. The belly, although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. Amazing, no? He's just 5 years old. Huh? Prahlāda Maharaj, only 5 years old, and he's speaking all these things. It's just so amazing. So the form or human form of life is meant for God realization, but this process, which begins with Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, hearing and chanting of the holy name of the Lord, is disturbed as long as our senses are materially attracted. Right? Because there's some distraction or the other. We begin to chant, our mind will go here, there, you have to do this, you have to do that, go here, go there. Therefore, devotional service means purifying the senses. The eyes want to see something, the ears want to hear something else, the tongue, we are still full, huh? Still very, very full, eaten a lot. Still, okay, there is still some samosa there, let me still have it. Or some dim sum there, let me still have it. So in the conditioned state, our senses are covered by material sense gratification. And as long as one is not trained in purifying the senses, one cannot become a devotee. In our Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, we advise from the very beginning that one restrict the activities of the senses, especially the tongue, which is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as most greedy and unconquerable. To stop this attraction of the tongue, one is authoritatively advised not to accept meat or similar uneatable things, nor to allow the tongue to hanker to drink or smoke. Even the drinking of tea and coffee is not permitted. Similarly, the genitals must be restricted from illicit sex. Without such restraint of the senses, one cannot make advancement in Krishna consciousness. The only method of controlling the senses is to chant and hear the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, one will always be disturbed, as a householder with more than one wife would be disturbed by them for sense gratification. So, which is the most difficult sense to control?
Tongue.
Tongue. Yeah, that's right. Tongue is most difficult. And then, what is the method that is given for us to control our senses?
To chant Hare Krishna.
Yes, that's right.
Always engaged.
Chant and
And always
chant
and eat
and
the prasad and be happy and
hear,
always keep in the okay, yeah, here
hearing
and
and chanting. Yeah, hearing. Hear from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Hear the holy name. Chant the holy name. Chant the glories of the Lord. So when we can do that, then gradually, our senses will get purified. And then we will be able to remember Krishna. Then we will be able to properly glorify Krishna also. Just like Prabhupada is putting here, you know, hearing and chanting is disturbed because our senses are attracted. We are not able to hear and chant properly because the senses are distracting us. Now, the way to actually hear and chant properly is, the way to control the senses is also to hear and chant. So we continue to hear and chant. Evam swakarma patitam bhavavaitaranya.
evam karma patitam bhavetaranyam
Anyonya janma marant ashana bhita bhitam.
अन्यो janma maranashanam bhita bhitam
Pashyanjanam swa paravigrahavairamaitam.
पश्यञ्जनं स्व परविग्रहवेदमेत्रम्
Ante tipara parachara piprihimudam adya.
हन्ति पारचेऽपि प्रहिमूढनम् अद्ध.
My dear Lord, you are always transcendentally situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. So Prahlad Maharaj, he's saying, don't look only on me, I'm suffering, but also look on everyone else who's suffering. Of course, he's not suffering, he's taking our position. So he's compassionate to all of us. He's telling the Lord, you know, have mercy on everyone who's suffering. Prahlad Maharaj, a pure Vaishnava, prays to the Lord not only for himself, but for all other suffering living entities. There are two classes of Vaishnavas, the Bhajananandis and the Goshtiyandis. The Bhajananandis, the Bhajan Anandis worship the Lord only for their own personal benefit, but the Goshti Anandis try to elevate all others to Krishna consciousness so that they may be saved. So, two kinds of devotees. One who are doing their bhajan, they don't preach, they go to a secluded place to concentrate on their bhajan. Very good, because they are trying to revive their relationship with Krishna. But then they are the Goshtyanandis, that they are the preachers. They are worshipping the Lord, they are hearing and chanting, but also they want everyone to engage in hearing and chanting. Why? Because they understand that everyone is suffering, and the only way that one can be happy is if one can revive one's relationship with Krishna. So they are more compassionate, that they not only want to save themselves, but everyone else. Fools who cannot perceive repeated birth and death and the other miseries of materialistic life cannot be sure of what will happen to them in their next birth. Indeed, these foolish, materially contaminated rascals have manufactured an irresponsible way of life that does not consider the next life. They do not know that according to one's own activities, one receives a body selected from 8,400,000 species. These rascals have been described in Bhagavad Gita as Dushkritino Muda. Non-devotees, those who are not Krishna conscious, must engage in sinful activities, and therefore they are mudas, fools and rascals. They are such fools that they do not know what will happen to them in their next life. That's what is now very prevalent, right? In our modern society, we feel that yes, this is more progress. The more we are turning away from God, we are thinking that is more progress for material society. Whereas, in fact, we are degrading ourselves. Although they see varieties of living creatures eating abominable things, pigs eating stool, crocodiles eating all kinds of flesh, and so on, they do not realize that they themselves, because of their practice of eating all kinds of nonsense in this life, will be destined to eat the most abominable things in their next life. A Vaishnava is always afraid of such an abominable life, and to free himself from such horrible conditions, he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. So a Vaishnava understands. So he is uh, most compassionate. He wants to save everyone from suffering. He doesn't want anyone to suffer. So he's doing the highest benefit to humanity. Para upakar. Para upakar, giving the highest benefit to everyone actually, to all living entities. Vaishnava is also very kind to all types of all living entities, not only human beings. He is best friend for everyone. So the Lord is compassionate to them, and therefore he appears for their benefit. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajami aham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Bhagavad Gita 4.7. The Lord is always ready to help the fallen souls. But because they are fools and rascals, they do not take to Krishna consciousness and abide by the instructions of Krishna. Therefore, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes as a devotee to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. So Krishna, he said, you surrender to me, Sarva Dharma Parityagya. But came Kali Yuga, that he said in end of Dwapar Yuga. Kali Yuga came, age progressed. Krishna realized, oh, people don't know how to surrender. I told them surrender, but they don't know how to surrender. Now let me go teach them how to surrender. So he came as a devotee to teach us how to surrender, how to become a devotee. Just like a teacher, she will write, I'm sorry, she writes A, B, C. Not that she doesn't know how to write, but because she wants to teach the student. So Lord Chaitanya comes to teach us how to revive, how to engage in devotional service. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. One must therefore become a sincere servant of Krishna. Amar agyaya guru hana tara e desha. Caitanya Caritamita, Madhya 7.128. One should become a guru and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world simply by preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is saying, on my order, Amara Agya, you become guru on my order and you tell everyone about Krishna. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. So it's a direct instruction from Lord Chaitanya coming from Lord Krishna. It's a direct instruction from Lord Chaitanya, who's Krishna himself, to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. So Krishna wants us to become Goshtyanandis. He's saying you hear and chant and you engage others in hearing and chanting. Yeah. So we can see that, Krishna wants everyone to come back home, back to Godhead. He knows we are all suffering here in this material world. So he wants every one of us to be happy. So that's Krishna's compassion. In Caitanya Caritamrita, there was a devotee, Vasudev Bhatta. Then he got leprosy. He had leprosy. Then he was so kind that the worms that were eating his flesh, when they would fall down, he would pick them up and again put them. Why? Because then he would say, oh, well, they have to eat something. Doesn't matter if it's hurting me. It was uh, so much compassion, even for the worms that were eating his flesh. He wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya, but during his travels, but somehow Lord Chaitanya missed him. But Lord Chaitanya understood that he wants to meet him. So he went, met him, embraced him. His leprosy became all right. He became very beautiful young man. Then he prayed to Lord Chaitanya. He said, now I'm afraid that I'm going to become very proud. You're giving me a beautiful body. I'm afraid I will get proud. Lord Chaitanya said, you incessantly chant the holy name. The Vasudeva Bhatta said, but what about the others, everyone is suffering. You deliver all of them. You let me suffer here. I don't care. I don't mind. But you deliver. You take everyone back to Godhead. Let me remain here. And Lord Chaitanya said, you have purchased me by your love. You can sell me to anyone you want. Lord Chaitanya became his heart got so filled seeing the compassion of Vasudeva Bhatta. He's so compassionate. He's saying, you deliver everyone else. Doesn't matter if I have to suffer for everyone's sins. You take everyone back home and let me remain here. And Lord Chaitanya says, you can sell me to anyone, anytime you want. I'm already sold. So such is the compassion. Some say that this Vasudeva Bhatta is an incarnation of Prahlāda Maharaj. Some of them say that. Some don't. So anyway, so the Vaishnavas are so compassionate to the suffering for our suffering. Anyone wanted to add anything? Comment?
Even
And
Hare Krishna, even like I think we are really fortunate to even hear about them, because I yesterday I met some friends and then we were just wondering that how fortunately we are placed here, because they were just sharing their experiences in India that it is not easy, that even if you are able to remember Krishna, you want to, but then you don't have that much time, or you don't have those, like time is one of the biggest factor, and then also you don't have association, and then you cannot go to the temples are not near their house, they cannot go every time. So then we were thinking that how fortunate we are that we are placed here in this situation, that I'm not answerable to anybody right now, only my husband. But in India, you're answerable to so many, and then you can't do certain things. So we should make the best use out of it. Krishna has given us so much, that every morning we are able to wake up, we are able to, without any disturbance, we are able to chant our rounds and then read Bhagavatam and then do our things. And then again, if I want, I can sit back. If I want to go to temple to help, I can go. Like, I'm not, restricted in a way. But in India, yes, you have to look everything. You just can't just leave and go. So we were really thanking God. Like, we were in our hearts that, yeah, thank you that we are placed in such a beautiful situation. In this place, we are placed that we can serve you. And so that just give us the service. Please give us the opportunity to serve you always. And like how everybody was complaining about their body ailings, that it's, oh, my knees are paining. And then the other one just said that we are fortunate, and right now we are fortunate. And if we are able to do it, we should just serve. And we should
beautiful.
pray to Krishna that give us more and more opportunities. Give me that power that I can keep serving you. Place me in situations and place where I can serve you, Krishna. I mean, these are very small things, but we forget, and we keep trying to find some bigger things. But these are those small happiness that keeps us alive.
Thank you.
So we have to keep
Thank you.
thanking Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
It's Krishna's
Every
mercy.
situation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Krishna's mercy, right? Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, because if it without his mercy it wouldn't be possible.
Yes, absolutely. With mercy.
Mm,
So like
Thank
how
you
he
so much
comes
for that.
there for the devotees, and like he's there for everybody, but then reading Prahlāda Maharaj prayers also assures again and again that yes, just keep doing. He will, if there is something, then he'll just come and show you the way. If it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So I just now spoke about Vasudev, but Vasudev, there are two of them. I just combined both of them. There was one Brahman, Vasudev, who had leprosy, and then he
Hmm.
was putting the worms, and then Lord Chaitanya made him beautiful, and he said, "Oh my God, I don't want to get proud." And Lord Chaitanya said, "You just chant Hare Krishna and you'll be fine." And then there was another Vasudev Bhatta who asked the Lord that you deliver everyone, everyone is suffering. you know, you let me be here. I want to suffer for everyone else. And Lord Chaitanya said, I'm sold to Vasudev Bhatta. And Vasudev Bhatta was like constant companion of Lord Chaitanya. He would be either he and Mukunda Bhatta were brothers. But yeah, so it was that Vasudev Bhatta who said that deliver everyone who is suffering. Some say that he is incarnation of Prahlāda Maharaj. That I will suffer for everyone else's sins, and you take everyone back home, back to Godhead. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. Yeah. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta
Jai.